Good morning. We're now going to speak more about the APPR, Annual Professional Performance Review. As Courtney had said, there are three deliverables, the APPR being one of the three. The other two, Common Core and Data-Driven Instruction, all merge together to inform school change and, most importantly, student achievement. The frameworks, Danielson frameworks for teaching, have a long and rich history. They stem from work done in the early 1990s by the Educational Testing Service, who were working on a set of tools for teacher licensure, and their group's name was Praxis. There's a lot of research that supports the Danielson frameworks, and most recently, there's a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation study, Measures of Effective Teaching, that is being done to look at the rubrics and inter-rater reliability. As we know, the rubrics are tied to the 7 New York State teaching standards. And there are 4 domains within the rubrics: planning and preparation, the classroom environment, instruction, and professional responsibilities. And within those domains, we have our various components. There are 3 primary priorities found within the frameworks. One is cognitive engagement, the second, constructivist learning, and the third, 21st century skills. In other words, the learning is done by the worker. Cognitive engagement is not hard to miss. When children are cognitively engaged, they are planning and managing their own learning. They have a high degree of personal control and autonomy, and they are motivated. They are also self-regulated, and that is the most richest form of learning. Constructivism is where students gain knowledge through their experiences, and in the process develop metacognitive skills such as reflective thinking and problem solving. In these situations, the teacher facilitates the learning as children construct understandings. And of course, we've all seen the 21st century skills framework, and these skills include life and career skills, learning and innovation skills, and information, media, and technology skills. In terms of the frameworks for teaching, effective teachers will have students that are cognitively engaged. Highly effective teachers, on the other hand, will have students that are metacognitive. In other words, they're aware of their own thinking and they own their learning. If you read the rubrics and you read those highly effective performance levels, you'll often read students are or students do. The students are taking ownership. In constructivist learning, in both effective and highly effective practice, there is evidence of learning experiences designed to facilitate students' construction of knowledge. And of course, with 21st century skills, you're going to see those skills embedded in the lesson activities. There are 4 levels of performance, as we know: heady, highly effective, effective, developing, and ineffective. In terms of unsatisfactory, ineffective, you will see evidence of the educator not understanding the concepts underlying the component. And these forms of practices are oftentimes harmful to the children. In the basic and developing category, teachers show evidence of the knowledge and skills related to teaching, but they're still inconsistent. We often see this in our new teachers in certain components. At the proficient level, and let's face it, if all of our staff are proficient, we have a very strong building. At this level, teaching evidence shows thorough knowledge of all aspects of the profession. Students are engaged, they're learning, they're successful, accomplished, etc. At the distinguished, highly effective level, which, if you read the words carefully within that set of performance levels, you'll read things that are truly outstanding, extraordinary. Distinguished is a nice place to visit, but it's not a place we can remain because it's truly distinguished. But in those situations, the students have assumed responsibility for their own learning. We know that there are best practices in observing. First of all, is we need to understand the knowledge of the criteria, and by we, I mean both the administrator and the educator. Secondly, there needs to be fidelity to process. There needs to be consistency in how we gather data and use that data to inform observations. And then finally, there needs to be a quality product delivered to the educator. And we will have a series of upcoming APPR workshops for our teachers, and in the description we have teacher leaders, but these are basically educators who are the informal leaders within the building. These are people that are going to be active in making the school reform process work. They're important for these trainings because they can help develop the message back in building. We will also do sessions after school, which will be 1.5 hour sessions. And then for the administrators, we will be working on inter-rater consistency so that regardless of who is conducting a classroom observation, the observation is done with fidelity and consistency.